Alright, so today I will be talking about the different explanations of mental health. So let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, what is mental illness? So according to our notes in our lecture, mental illness is something categorized as harmful behavior, inappropriate emotions, and having unrealistic thoughts. So mental illness is anything that is considered abnormal behavior, having abnormal thoughts, and abnormal actions. And down here below, I found this picture online that I thought was very cool. How it talks about and shows you anxiety disorders, depression, eating disorders, OCD, bipolar, and sleep wake disorders. Also up here below, there's like bipolar, bulimia, addiction, schizophrenia, PTSD, and so on. And to be honest, I did not learn more about the different mental illnesses there are out there until like literally just 2 years ago. Like I did not know what, for example, schizophrenia was. Like I had a different viewpoint of what schizophrenia was, and same with bipolar. Like I used to think bipolar was just when your moods were switched all the time. That's all there was to it. So even me till this day, like I'm still learning more about mental illness, and I think it's something very important and very interesting to learn about. So, what are some explanations of mental illness and where does it come from? So, according to our text in our lecture, there are three different explanations of mental illness. The first one would be psychological, second, supernatural, and third would be biological. So, according to psychological, that would be something like feeling fear, feeling anxious, anxiety disorders, depression, and so on. And I posted this picture down here below because I thought it was very interesting how it shows like you're basically locked up in your own brain. So I thought it was pretty interesting and it would fit perfectly to the psychological explanation of mental illness. Second is supernatural. So that would be like believing in demons, spirits, and bad vibes, black magic, white magic, and so on. And according to our text, not many people believe in the supernatural explanation as much anymore. Like how many centuries ago people used to believe in witches and burning people and so on and so forth. But I kind of disagree with that because till this day, I think we still tend to believe in supernatural things. For example, in scary movies, they still talk about like exorcisms and letting go of the bad vibes in your body by like bleeding or doing some type of spell. Like I think it's still something that's being talked about till this day. So I certainly do think that supernatural explanation of mental illness is still out there. And a lot of people probably don't want to admit it that they believe in that stuff, but I think it definitely is still a probably logical explanation for some people. So yeah. So the third explanation would be biological. So that would be brain malfunctioning, genetics being passed down from your parents that would cause, some issues mentally. Also, drug abuse. It could be many different things. But yeah, I think the most interesting explanation of mental illness for me would be supernatural, just because I kind of like that stuff. At the same time, it's kind of creepy and like I don't really know what to believe. But I thought it was pretty interesting how they still bring up supernatural till this day. So in this last PowerPoint, I added this worksheet I found on the internet. And it says up here nearly 50 million or 19.86% of American adults experience a mental illness in 2019. Now that is a really big number. And then, for example, also what I found would be more than half of adults with a mental illness do not receive treatment, totaling over 27 million U.S. adults. I think that is very, very important because I still think as a whole country and as globally, like I think we still have a lot of learning to do that becomes in regard to mental illness, and I think it's just very important, especially with teenagers. There's many teenagers that don't receive the treatment either because their parents don't believe in mental illness or because they don't have the right resources to reach out for help. So I think it still is a big issue till this day. See, for example, right here it says over 60% of youth with major depression do not receive any mental health treatment. So yes. So yeah, I think that is all I have for you guys today. So yeah, remember 3 different